are back. I am back with another stream. For today, hope everybody's doing well. Gonna try to be a bit quicker today just because I am gonna try to stream the 7:30 game tonight. Knicks at Pacers. That is gonna be the goal, and hope that I can stay awake until after 10 p.m. tonight. I'm on the East Coast. The game starts, like I said, game starts at like 7:40 p.m. And I want to make sure. Luckily enough, I already ate dinner, and I want to make sure that I go take a shower and rev up and get ready for this game tonight. We got 4 games, just 4. Technically 19 games in the next 48 hours. 4 tonight, and then 15 games. Most of the NBA is playing tomorrow. So basically, the rest of the teams are playing today, and then the start of the teams are playing today, and then the rest of them are playing tomorrow. And then I think we have a few games on Thursday, right? And then there's 5 games Thursday. So then after Thursday, from the 14th through the 18th, we have no games because it's going to be All-Star weekend. Everybody's going to be chilling, kind of resting, and just kind of hanging out with their families and all that stuff. Which at the same time, I haven't watched an All-Star weekend in years, so that's another whole topic for another day. But yeah, it's gonna suck not having any NBA because NBA is my favorite sport. I want to watch basketball all year round. I really do, as far as even if it's NBA. But luckily enough, I didn't notice. I just found this out too. There's 37 college basketball games tonight. And even though basketball is like my favorite sport, I don't follow college that much, and I'm trying to get really into it. I was a little bit years ago, but then I tried to some closer over the last few years, but then I kind of fell off. So I'm trying to get really enamored into college as well, which the hope is that I can maybe possibly fit some college picks in either a separate video or the same video, separate live stream, same live stream. We'll see what happens with that, but that's for later down the road. But with that, 4 games. Let's recap real quick. I just want to recap real quick. Not going to dive into too much because I want to dive into these picks because, like I said, I want to hopefully be done with the stream within the next maybe 10-15 minutes. Because again, there's only 4 games, not too much to really dive into. But there's definitely things that you can find in all of these games to find some type of pick, even if it's just one pick. But I went 8-10 from last night's NBA action. I probably could have went like maybe 6-4 or something like that, but because I added a few extra tickets in just before the tip off for the early games, and my 2 lock picks per the video from earlier today, that went straight cash, straight sweep, 2-0. We swept with the I'm losing my train of thought. Give me 1 second. So we cashed the under for the Hawks Magic, which was 221. It wasn't a half. It was just 220. It did dip down to 221, but they only scored 218 points in total. So that cashed. I was glad about that pick. And the other pick was for Donovan Mitchell to get 5 assists, 4.5. I got it at great value, so I kind of had that feeling. I grabbed it yesterday, yesterday. I grabbed that easy, quick, fast. As soon as I seen that 4.5, I was like, I'm grabbing this right now before this line moves. But luckily enough, he went out there and his teammates did their job, and he finished with I think 8 assists for the night. So that worked out either way. If it jumped up to 5.5 or even 6.5, it's still cash. So I'll be upset if it did jump to 6.5. It was a positive. It was on the positive side. But outside of that, like I said, several of my picks, I took a few team total points over and under. I want to say all of them hit, but no, The Hornets did not. I did talk about that in the live stream yesterday. I said screw it. I was going to take the Hornets at 104.5. That specific number has failed me when it's pertaining to the Hornets more specifically. So I'm like 0-3 right now with trying to rely on them to score 105 points, and they just haven't been able to do it for me. So everything else, like I said, I lost 10 other, let's say 8 for 10. So, I just felt good about last night for real. The one pick that I forgot to put in was Collier and his assist. It was probably more than likely 8.5. I don't really know what it was, but if it was 8.5, that literally I would have grabbed easily because he just been cashing. He had 10 last night. If I remember, I'm just looking at it right now. He had 10, so that's literally 4 out of the last 5 games. He's had 10 or more assists, and technically 5 straight games of going over his projected assists. So yeah, if you just took all your wins, you took from the first game and just added it all, just stacked it each game, yeah, $5, $10, or whatever you would be holding on to. If it was even, especially if it was $10, you'd be holding on to roughly probably about like $100 right now, in your pocket right now, just because Collier has been cashing. So, but that's pretty much all that I'm gonna talk about, because now we're gonna dive into these few picks. We're gonna dive into the lock picks that I did talk about in the video earlier, and we're going to see what we can do. So basically, it's the two of the later games for today. It's the and actually I got it at great value because I grabbed these again yesterday evening. So especially well, technically it was both. They both jumped up. So this is kind of letting me know that the books are saying for these two picks, for the two lock picks that I have, I took both games to go over their total points. I took the Knicks at the Pacers and the Grizzlies at the Suns. I got this is minus 110 over on FanDuel. The other pick, the Grizzlies at Phoenix, is over on DraftKings, but they're both minus 110. Where is this one sitting at now? It's minus 110 on FanDuel for the Knicks Pacers, and then minus 105 for the Grizzlies at Phoenix. So I grabbed it. I grabbed New York at the Pacers over 234.5. That is the best value because that's where it opened up yesterday evening. Because that number now pushed up 6. To do 241, 240.5. I'm feeling really good about this pick. I'm technically feeling really good about the Memphis Phoenix Suns over as well. Just because, when we really look at the Pacers Knicks, when we look at the over, like you see how with Outlier is showing for the Knicks, they've been going under this mark 70% of the time over the last 10 games, right? Away, same thing, 70%, because they're away. They're heading to Indiana. Indiana, on the other hand, at home is 40% out of the 60% out of the last 10 games. But they've had a back-to-back game. Technically, they've got the over has hit 3 out of the last 5 games. So, but it's more so the head-to-head matchup when it's pertaining to the Knicks at away, and more so pertaining to, I looked at more so pertaining to Knicks at Indiana. We're looking at all of this stuff, every single game away, they've hit 2 times. So I again, I'm feeling really good about this one because, one, the number was so low. Last game, the most recent one was this year, the number was 229.5, and they went over by 250 by scoring 253 points. Now again, the past 3 games prior to that, it was the season prior where the number was lower than what it is now, and they all went under. So I was correlating to say, okay, The number dipped up, you know, 14 points, 15 points, 14 points since the season prior. More so because I want to say due to the roster changes and stuff, with everything. More so with the Knicks, that this is why I said I felt like it was just a good spot, and and it doesn't really change anything even with Indiana being at home, because again we're talking about just the matchup itself. So with both times that they've gone over the projected spot, the line, that the number was high. It was higher than what it normally was prior to, with those other 3 games from last season. So that's why I'm saying, like, I'm really feeling really good with this pick, to be more so. And we can even just look at the last 5 games with both teams. They pretty much are averaging, one in the teens, like 116, between 116 and 118, as far as the Knicks are concerned, when it's pertaining to them scoring, over the last 5 games alone. And then with Indiana, they're averaging like one, what last 5 games, maybe close to 120 or around 120, because they had the back-to-back 132. So that's why I just looked at it, was just like, all right, I feel like this specific pick should hit, hopefully. And then with the Grizzlies, same situation. I looked at the over. I looked at what the teams were doing the last few games alone. Memphis away. Here, they're literally averaging like 130. Maybe a little less than 130 a game over the last 5 games, with them pretty much getting, definitely over, this 130. And then Phoenix at home, they are roughly averaging over the last 5 games, roughly like 115. So that's what I'm saying. Like that 238 is the number that I got, 238.5 on DraftKings from yesterday evening, because as you see, it jumped up to 246. Now you would think like, oh well, maybe the under would work with this one. But you don't know about the Knicks Pacers game. Again, it could go under this number, but again, it could go over the number that I originally got. So 234.5 for the Pacers Knicks game, and then 238.5 for my Grizzlies heading to Phoenix. So that's pretty much where I grabbed these 2 picks at the best value, at the starting value, the opening value. Next up was back with the Pacers Knicks. I decided to just go against the grain here too. So the value jumped up with the money line. I actually decided to go with another money line pick, and that was to take Indiana straight up to win at home against the Knicks. Now I grabbed it over on Caesars at plus 115. Now it jumped up to plus 130 over on Caesars. This is kind of letting me know that there's a possible chance that the Knicks could win tonight. But when we really look at it, OG is game time decision. Josh is game time decision. Mitchell was still out. The other players these couple other players, one's out, one's game time decision. That's that. Isaiah Jackson's out for the year, and then Miles Turner is officially out. He was questionable. So I think that's the reason why the number dipped up for both the money lines. So now that I'm looking at it, it's like, okay, what's gonna really transpire with the over, even with the with the game itself? Could the Knicks still get it? It just depends on, are these is Hart and OG gonna play tonight, and then on top of that, Miles is out. So we're gonna see if Nembhard and Mathurin, if they can pick up the workload And then, and of course, their bench, can Toppin and McConnell and a couple other pieces, can they really be a focal force for some offense coming off the bench for the Pacers? And then, of course, you have, the Knicks, their 7 players that are going to be playing tonight. Nobody else. That cheese that I can't stand with Tibbs. I've gone on record so many times saying I do not like how the Knicks, how Tibbs is running that team, and I really don't like. He should be trusting 3 other players off that bench. He should be running like 10 players a night. Just to be honest, you got 5 up, 5 coming up. You know what I mean? 5 and 5. Like, come on, man. There's other players you don't really trust. That lets me know you don't trust your other teammates. You don't trust your other core. The other players that you agreed to sign on the team to play alongside your starting 5. I don't like it. I really don't. Okay, so we move on. Next pick. I said I'm rushing because I gotta get ready to go take a shot. Next pick, and these aren't a whole plethora of picks though. That's the other thing. I only did like 2 or 3 extra ones out of the 4 because there's only 4. I could have easily added more, but I'm just gonna stick with what I have and hope for the best. So this one's over on FanDuel as well. I decided to rely on Josh Giddey tonight. Let me look at the make sure, because I didn't even get a chance to really check the injury report for either team. So Lonzo's out. Okay, so this works out, and Ivy's still out, right? So, so this should possibly fit the bill for me. I decided to rely on Josh Giddey's 3-pointers. As you see, per outlier, I want him to hit 2 threes tonight. He said his mark 70% of the time. He's averaging 2, just shy, literally shy, 1.9. Last 5 games, 80%. He's hit 4 straight games of 2 or more threes. Per the point guard position, they're actually allowing 3 threes. So it was just like, as soon as I saw the 3, as soon as I saw this here, more specifically the last 5 games, I was like, look, I'm hammering this. I'm taking this pick. Actually, again, this dipped up some more, so this is better value over on Bet365 than the pick I got it over on FanDuel at plus value, plus 118. So I just got a really good feeling that Giddey can go out here and get these 2 threes over the course of the 4 quarters that the Bulls are going to be playing against Detroit. So we'll see what happens per this specific. Oh wait, sorry. I'm sorry. I meant the shooting guard. But either way, they're still allowing. Well, this one they're allowing 4 threes per the position, 3.8. So there's that pick. And next up, first time that I'm doing this on stream. I've tried to pick him a couple extra times. I think it was like 2 or 3 times from my Memphis Grizzlies. But I'm looking to rely on him tonight. Going with the Rook, Zach Edey, the homie. Even though he don't know me, to grab. Now it's in at 7.5. It dipped up 1, but I got it at a better value. But it's juice though, so I grabbed it over on FanDuel again early this morning. 6.5 minus 120. It's at plus value now, plus 116 again over on DraftKings for him to get 8 rebounds. I'm curious of reason as to why. Maybe it's probably due to some type of form factor with the Phoenix Suns here. But main reason, we look at here, he's hit it 50% of the time, but more so the last 5 games he's really been pushing, grabbing boards, more so in the middle. He's been locked in. He's averaging 9 rebounds, and plus per the center position, the Suns are allowing 14, just shy of 15 boards, 14.4 rebounds per the center position. So it was just like, I just said, it was just a random. It was like a random. I as soon as I clicked the game, it just popped. I looked at it and I was like, what could I possibly grab with this pick? As soon as I clicked it, Edey was the first name that popped in my head. I was like, well, let me see about his rebounds, and boom, 6.5. I was like, this is it. Let me look at this stuff for per hour. See what it says. I was like, this is it right here. Last 5 games, plus per the position, this should hopefully hit tonight with him grabbing at least 7. And I always will continue to mention, um, you know, that half a point will suck if he only grabs 6. But we'll see what happens with that. Plus, per the last 5 games, his rebounding chances have been 16, just shy of 17, 15.8. So, yeah, I just kind of have that feeling that he can grab these 7 rebounds. And I think that was everything. Yeah, that's it. That's all the picks that I decided to put in for tonight's slate. I know you were kind of curious and wondering, like, why didn't I touch Toronto at Philly? I just really don't trust the game. I can maybe pick something per the live stream. I mean, again, there's 4 games. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's figure something out, because I was pretty much focused on a lot of the other stuff for the other games that I really wasn't paying attention to Toronto or Philly while I was on the bus on my way to work and while I was at work for the little bit of time that I had to be able to put some picks in. So let's see. Do I want to go with a spread? Do I want to go with a team total? Maybe, it just popped in my head. Maybe I'll fade Toronto's team total points. They only scored 87 points the other night, which I was hopeful. I was hoping that they would have hit and went over. I think it was 104.5. So now the question is, do I want to fade this 107.5 tonight? How many points is Phoenix allow? Excuse me, Phoenix. 76. They're allowing 113. Do I want to fade Toronto? They've only missed this by 4 games, the last 10 games, and then 2 the last 5. Again, they scored 87, but that was two days ago. Do I want to fade Toronto tonight? Let's look at the injury report here real quick. Let me see what's going on. See, Ingram's still out. He just literally signed a 3-4 year deal extension with the team today. Barrett's still out. It's just Quickly and Harrison Barnes on the team. As far as scoring is concerned, you could say Abaji maybe, but he's only averaging 10 every so often. He hasn't scored 15 in a long time, not since January 3rd against Orlando at home. But again, Philly's defense has been sucking. That's the only thing. So do I want to take this 108.5 under? That's the question I had. But I kind of feel like, let me look at this real quick. Let me go back to when they played my Thunder, because that was the game that I was looking to go under their team total points, and they went over by, I think it was 104, 105, something like that, and they went 109. Let me see. Let me look at this real quick. Oh, so Grady should be playing tonight. So that's the other player that should be getting some points for them. So just Barnes, Quickly, and Grady. For maybe Boucher? Maybe. That's right. They did just sign James Wiseman, former Kentucky Wildcat. Kentucky's my favorite college team. Let's do it, guys. I'll fade Toronto. I'll do it. Let's see if it hits. Let's see if this under hits. Let's see if the line moved though, because I may have to grab this over on BetMGM instead. Yeah, when I was really looking at all this, I didn't really look at anything for Philly's game. They're favored by a good bunch. It's -1. It's -520 for the money line. I think that's the other reason why I'm just gonna go on ahead and take this. So the away team total points, it's 108. Let me look on BetMGM, see if I can get just a smidge, because BetMGM can sometimes be just a little bit lower with the value, but still be the same number. That's what I've been noticing for BetMGM recently. Total. So it's -115 for the 107.5, but it's 108 for FanDuel. Now the one below it, because it's, again, I love taking plus 100s. The one below that over on BetMGM is 106.5. But let me see real quick. This one is plus 104 FanDuel for the 106.5. So I am going to do just the 107.5. I'm just gonna, I'll take the risk. I locked it in. It's it. We'll see what happens. So yeah, those are the picks. I already shared them on let me double check. I think I did. Let me double check. Most of them are. So yeah, I shared them all over on my Twitter account, Vortex46. Go follow the page. Or should I say not the page? Yeah, well, whatever. Go follow my account if you feel comfortable. Vortex46 for all of my, see all these picks and whatever the results will be and all of that stuff. We'll see what happens with tonight. We'll see. 4 games tonight, 19 in total, 15 tomorrow. Let's push for these wins, guys. That's the stream. I'm out. I'm gonna go take a shower, and then I'll hopefully be back with the live stream of the Knicks at Pacers game. Let's see what happens with all of these picks and just see what happens with these games. Hopefully everybody goes out here and just balls out tonight, even though it was just 4 games. All 4 teams just ball out. All 4 games go over the total points, all of them, every last one of them. Or they may all go under. We'll see. But I'm out. I'll holler at y'all later. Stay safe, stay humble. Peace.